These fence clamps are the cheapest ones available at the time of making this video on Amazon. I paid £19.99 for the pair. As I stated in my last video, I wanted to upgrade the fences on my table saws, and these specific clamps will help me to do this. My DeWalt table saw and my new Rage 5 table saw come with a crown guard mounted onto the top of the riving knife, but the crown guards and their attached dust extraction ports make it impossible to make close cuts to the fence. So to start this project I needed 2 pieces of timber, and here I was using a piece of scrap floorboard. I needed to cut these to length, and I did this using my Festool track saw and my Bench Dog crosscut station. The first couple of cuts on the table saw was just to remove the tongue on one edge of the floorboarding. And then cutting them to width, ensuring that the piece was the same height as the fence. Now that I had my 2 pieces of wood, I just needed to mark out where the 2 holes was going to sit to attach the clamps to the fence. The bars are 8mm in diameter, so I first drilled them with my pilot hole and countersink, and then drilled the 8mm hole. I can then clamp this piece of timber to the face of the fence. The body of the clamp just needed some adjusting to make sure it didn't clash with the small retractable fence behind. This is easily done by screwing the bar in and out to match. The Rage 5 fence is configured slightly different, so I won't have this clash. Once I'd adjusted the length of the fence, I could just then fasten the whole thing down. And then just check that the fence was square to the table. Now I have the basic fence in place, I wanted to try and configure the fence to work with the crown guard and dust extraction. Raising the blade to its highest setting, I mark the position of the crown guard. And then took it over to the bandsaw and removed this section of timber. My idea being that the fence will slide up to the blade and the crown guard will then sit in the recess I've created in the fence. This will probably work better on the DeWalt as the crown guard is split. Just a test cut on a piece of scrap. With the sacrificial fence in place, I can cut within 1/4 of an inch of the blade whilst keeping the guard in place. Whereas without it, I can only cut within an inch. If I'd used a slightly wider piece of timber for the fence, say 1.25 inches, I could reduce this cut right down to 0. And the second fence I wanted to make was for my 6mm grooving blade, so I could groove right up against the fence, in essence creating a rebate. The drilling process was exactly the same as the first fence, as was the clamping procedure. And because I can't use my crown guard and riving knife for this, I use a feather board just to keep the timber tight to the fence and keep my fingers out of the way. Once you have everything dialed in terms of positioning, it's just a case of turning on the saw and winding up the blade to its height. This is a nice easy way to create a small rebate. And I'll leave you with a blooper when my camera and tripod fell over and straight through the loft access. No cameras were hurt in this video, thankfully. And if you want to see some of my other table saw videos, please see the links here.